Well, crypto market update, guys. Big news today. Wild volatility in the cryptocurrency markets. Absolute craziness going on. Huge volatility in the Japanese markets today. Huge volatility in the crypto markets. Crypto markets got massively oversold, presenting a buying opportunity for anybody who had cash. Not me. Not me. Anyway, we're going to be talking about what's going on in the markets right now. Of course, answering your questions second half of the stream. So hold on to those questions. We'll be answering them second half of the stream today. Let's get it. So first, we need to start with talking about the big story, which is, of course, what the heck is happening in Japan, man. Japan's stock market yesterday suffered the worst losses in history, man. The Nikkei 225 closed down about 12%. Largest single day drop since October 20th, 1987, which was the beginning of the end for the Japanese stock markets back in the day. And then look at this. Look at this today, man. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Now, that is one heck of a candle. We still have 3.5 hours for Japanese market. I know, guys. This is the state of the markets. We're talking about Japanese stock markets right now. I know. But the carry trade unwinding has had massive impacts because Japanese investors have had huge amounts of exposure to U.S. Treasury markets and to U.S. stock markets. And the Bank of Japan is the biggest single holder of U.S. debt in the world. So it's very important from a macro sense what's happening over there. And obviously the entire market has priced this event as being very important. Okay. So here we go. Look at that. Now, big rally today, of course, getting everybody very, very excited, going from basically, holy crap, it's totally over, to, oh my gosh, we're so back. Still probably some risk in the markets. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second here. Wolf Wall Streets, by the way, in case you need a bit more information on the Japanese carry trade. We got a video coming on this night, but real quick, people borrowed yen cheap, lent it out to buy other stuff. Yen price moved hard. They got liquidated, had to sell other stuff to cover. Okay, there you go. So Peter here saying, by the way, if it is the unwinding of the yen carry trade driving this, emergency Fed cuts could actually make things worse by farther narrowing the interest rate differential between the US and Japan. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people are saying, well, now we need emergency cuts from the Fed. That's going to fix this problem. I wonder, look, the Bank of Japan didn't raise interest rates without the Fed knowing. Obviously, they talked about it. So the Fed probably did this, let them do this, knowing that it could cause an unwinding here. Remember the Fed, we were talking about this 22 and 23? Part of what they're doing, part of the strategy of these high interest rates for longer, they want to bring inflation down, but bringing inflation down, guess what that's going to do? Result in job losses, result in a slowing down of the economy, result in businesses foreclosing, people losing their homes, all that kind of stuff. Plus credit events or huge things like this where we have giant deleveragings of the entire Japanese stock market, man. Holy cow. Raul Powell saying, I've been writing and talking for a while that the Chinese needed dollar and yen lower so they could ease policy without having to sacrifice the RMB. And Janet Yellen had been over to China twice to discuss this. U.S. rates needed to come lower to help too. That's now underway. Remember, September, we're almost certainly getting a rate cut. The Japanese revaluation of the yen was part of a larger agreed picture among central banks to be able to inject liquidity into the system to revive global growth momentum. Interesting. A weaker dollar is what everyone needed to add liquidity and loosen financial conditions, and it will mop up this current mess caused by that regime change. King dollar no longer stands in the way. This is the big macro picture. Banana zone's coming, Raul. Banana zone's coming one of these days. Speaking of bananas, let's real quick do a shout out to Apex. So Apex, this is a great way to do some trading. And by the way, they are the sponsor of today's video. So if you're looking for a reliable decentralized exchange in these turbulent times, Apex Protocol is there for you. This is actually Bybit's official decentralized exchange partner. Completely permissionless, non-custodial, non-KYC decentralized exchange. They rank among the top in daily active users of all decentralized exchanges. And as we see centralized exchanges facing more regulations in the United Kingdom, the USA, Canada, Europe, and beyond, it's clear that DEXs are the future for seamless trading. Now, Apex was actually founded to address all these challenges, ensuring secure, unrestricted trading access for you. Joining is super simple, by the way. No KYC. All you have to do, connect your wallet, you can start trading. And right now, Apex are giving away $50,000 and an allocation for their new meme token that's launching soon on Solana called Kong. All you have to do, sign up, link down below in the description, start trading. Now, this is running from now until the 15th of August. So you still have a little over a week to participate. $50,000 US prize pool plus 2.75 billion Kong tokens, which is Apex's new meme coin. The first 600 users will also receive a $5 trading bonus. Why not? All registered participants are also eligible for that Kong airdrop according to their trading score. The more volume, the higher the score you're going to get. Top 20 traders will share that $50,000 prize pool. Link in the description. And if you make a qualifying deposit, you also receive a $20 deposit bonuses. So lots of great stuff there. Check it out. Connect your wallet, join, enjoy your trading. Link in the description. Thanks again to the guys over at Apex for sponsoring today's video. So let us continue. The VIX. The VIX, man. Holy cow. Holy cow. The only time the VIX was higher was the peak 2008 crash and the COVID crash. This is basically pricing in massive deleveraging, right? So the only time that was higher was in two of the biggest crashes in recent memory, October 2008 and March 2020. Now, it's fascinating because does that mean that, well, that's it. That's the bottom for a while. Maybe everything's going to be fine moving here forward. Worst is over. Japan's deleveraged. It's done. Don't worry about it. And what happens, of course, if a U.S. recession is announced at some point in the not-so-distant future? Data on that's very mixed, by the way. We've got a video coming on that in 2 days, so make sure to check that out. We break down the current situation with U.S. recession predictions. What's interesting, too, this is from Donnelly Brand. He says, one of these things is not like the other. So global financial crisis, worst pandemic in 100 years, slightly weak payrolls. I feel like the market's had some pretty strong jitters for a year. And even though we've had this very bullish run, especially for stocks, crypto's been, we had some great runs early in the year. Altcoin just been bleeding most of the year. It's been pretty brutal for altcoin investors. I know some of those bags have been pretty underwater, man, for a while. But it's interesting that this sort of storm of events happened in a very short amount of time. I mean, Mercury went into retrograde, in case you guys didn't know. That's always a shitstorm, isn't it? Shout out to mom. And then, of course, you have all these other things happening, right? You have Trump, who's not doing as well in the polls. It's almost like everybody forgot there was an assassination attempt 3 weeks ago. It's crazy. And then you had the weaker payroll data, which triggered the SAM rule. And then people started freaking out about that in US markets and all that kind of stuff. And then the Japanese carry trade unwinding. And then Iran war fears. And that's still not over. We hopefully are going to not see much escalation in that regard, but things going to happen, right? So it's not just slightly weak payrolls. It's the implication that, these things can play out, right? So we'll see how it all works. The Goldman Panic Index is flashing panic. Past times were fairly close to major lows for what it is worth. There you go. Jobs. This is from a guy named Goolsby. I swear sometimes that some of these names at the Fed are made up. You got what? Mr. Cash Carry. Cash Carry. Really? That's the guy's name. This guy's name is Goolsby. Yeah, you sound like a dude who works at the Federal Reserve. Anyway, stop, ragging on this guy's last name. Jobs numbers weaker than expected, but not looking yet like a recession. Yet. Fed's usually wrong in everything, by the way, but just, FYI. That's Goolsby, guys. So if the economy deteriorates, the Fed will fix it. Asked about emergency cuts, he says everything's always on the table, including rate hikes and rate cuts. So interesting. I don't know if we're going to have an emergency meeting. Maybe this is all planned. Maybe this is what the Fed wanted to see. They wanted to deleverage that carry trade and deleverage the bond markets a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me. A lot of pain, of course, in that situation. There's now a 60% chance, according to prediction markets, of a rate cut this week from the Fed. We've had no indication that that's the reality yet, but this is how prediction markets have been looking. Although it seems an almost certainty that we're going to have rate cuts in September. So hold on to your butts for that. Jeff Dorman says, what would confirm my bullishness now? Big ETF inflows today and all week. Japan equities up. Yeah, that's true. That's happening. Fed reassures the market without panic cutting. Panic cutting is almost a bad sign from the Fed, right? Because it would kind of say, well, we're not really in control and we didn't anticipate this, right? Bad news that would make me scared. Something breaks. The repo markets, the foreign exchange markets, continued bad economic data. Arthur Hayes, this is an interesting take. Guys, okay? Arthur saying that was the first wave. Now we wait for bodies of TradFi over-leveraged Muppets to surface. Then wave 2 begins, aka more deleveraging. If there's going to be a bailout, the market needs to deliver more pain by Friday. Enjoy the respite, for the war shall continue. Now, that's just one take. Okay? Smoking chicken fish up 21%. Yeah, smoking chicken fish. Smoking chicken fish bags. We're holding on, man. We're holding on. We'll see how that turns out. Anyway, that's an interesting take. Often when you see deleveraging events of this magnitude in markets, you will see the results of that car crash show up a little bit later. Look at the crypto markets, right? Crypto markets, they started crashing in really late 2021. By February 2022, things were getting pretty bad. Then we had a just cascade of lenders collapsing and Terra Luna collapsing and the stablecoin UST collapsing. And so that all happened. And then later on, we found out that Genesis Trading had mismanaged all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, FTX collapsed because they had been risking giant amounts of money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see how the rest of the week plays out. I mean, hey, maybe that was it. We've deleveraged Japan. That was enough. Recession fears overblown. We're going to pump. Rate cuts coming back onto the party. Maybe. I hope that's the scenario. Linda Jones here saying the carry trade involves trillions and trillions of dollars. The news media is desperately not discussing it because they don't want to call attention to the global margin call. It says this is very, very serious. I anticipate at least one bank or brokerage to go out of business from it, if not more. Now, hot take, right? So the largest players in the carry trade, including the yen dollar carry trade, are typically major financial institutions such as global investment banks, hedge funds, and other large-scale institutional investors. These entities have the resources and expertise to engage in complex trading strategies. Some of the key institutions involved include Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Bridgewater, Citadel, AQR, Renaissance, Two Sigma, BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, PIMCO. Now, I would be blown away if any of these giant institutions had leveraged themselves so bad. I mean, they're not me, right? They had leveraged themselves so bad that they actually got into such a situation. Chances are the carry trade for any of these organizations is a small percentage of their total business. but it'll be smaller funds that might blow up, and how they're linked to other funds could have further implications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be interesting to see. None of that may happen. None of that may happen. Maybe we just had a big deleveraging, a big panic event in the market, and then everything will be fine. Interesting. Here's some positive economic data for you. Okay. Household balance sheets historically strong with debt to disposable income around 50-year lows. Now, that's the kind of numbers that are interesting. That doesn't say recession super imminent and everything's going to go to hell. Right? Look at these charts, man. Look at that. We got down to 48, just in 48, 49. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Some wild price action yesterday. Absolutely intense. Now, the question is, basically, this came right through that area of price support here, but was that just a capitulation candle, and can we still count ourselves as being inside of that range? I think it's going to depend on the next few days of candle closes here. So let's watch out for what happens as we move forward in the markets here, but certainly interesting to watch. Certainly interesting to watch. Nice rebound today as people kind of have that reflexive bounce back after a very hard day. Let's now see follow through. Let's see some strength actually build into the markets now, right? Huge weakness, huge weakness. Don't discount how much trauma that can cause in the short term. People will rush to jump back in, right? So if you're a long-term holder, you're going to be fine. These are great buying levels down here, okay? Ethereum bouncing back nicely as well. And look at this. Look at the oversold RSI here. Absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Okay. Solana bouncing back, of course, on the RSI as well. But Solana of the majors is the only one currently heading back to potentially retake the 200-day EMA. Now, Bitcoin well under the 200-day EMA. We need to retake 60K in order for Bitcoin to essentially flip back to a bullish bias. Now you can say again, capitulation happened, long-term buys, all going to be great, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Market momentum-wise, we want to see 60K and the 200-day EMA be retaken with some kind of confidence. Ethereum way, way out there compared to Bitcoin when it comes to the 200-day EMA. Again, long-term value buyers going to be doing great having bought in this range down here. I mean, great prices, right? If you had cash, not me. Up here, though, that's where we want to see a reclaim to reclaim that bullish market bias. Okay? That's what we want to see. We want to see a reclaim here of the 200-day EMA for Ethereum. Solana a lot closer. Solana's been one of the strongest assets of the cycle in case you haven't been paying attention, right? Here's some tips I thought might be useful for everybody out there who's been trying to ride these crazy, crazy waves. Mando here sharing, come to terms with loss, calculate your portfolio, get a game plan. 2, expect in the coming days that some funds and protocols could be insolvent and there could be more fallout to come. Be wary reaching for high-risk assets to make it all back, the sort of revenge trade, right? Those can often take a while to recover. Don't expect V-shaped recovery. DCA if you have stable coins, right? Simply simplify your positions so they're easier to track, survive. Think of what you can make in a year rather than the next month. Not bad advice, right? Long-term thinking here, guys. Long-term thinking. Emperor here. Continue being in the market. Let this dump be a lesson on keeping a hardened validation point. Knowing when to exit will keep you sane and keep you rich. He says, I didn't expect the hard dump of 70K, but I was out when the market kept dumping below 60, 63.5. If the market isn't cycling bullish, take the loss and exit. Don't randomly just buy the dip. I think that's something we talked about this bit on the stream yesterday too. Man, I saw so many people buying those falling knives, especially on altcoins on social media. Like, oh my gosh, I saw people posting on Friday night about catching some of these falling knives, and then by Sunday morning, some of these guys might have been down 50% already on some of these things. So, you can wait for the market to establish a bit of strength before trying to hop back in. Okay. Number 4 is will happen all the time. It happens in all cycles. Learn how you'll save capital in such times. 5, the market gives you enough money and opportunities. 0 responsibility to develop a skill to save and preserve it. There you go. There you go. Hey, here's some bullish news for you. Here's some bullish news. Europe's 4th biggest hedge fund, Capula, owns $500 million of Bitcoin through BlackRock and Fidelity. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? On-chain college, as I posted a couple of days ago, the similarities between the 2019 local peak and now have been getting stronger. It looks like another March 2020 kind of moment could be in the cards with everything going on. The goal is to survive, because after the dust settles and the money printer goes burr into oblivion, Bitcoin proven yet again to be a valuable life raft in a world of monetary debasement. Agreed. Here's an interesting chart for you as well. Look at this. Bull market over. We've seen it before. So this is 2020 COVID crash. This is 2024 Japanese yen unwind. Interesting. Interesting. Timothy saying Bitcoin's dropped 25% in 10 days. It's happened only 45 times since 2015. Only 45 times since 2015. What happens next? 10 days later, Bitcoin went up 62% of the time. The average gain was 17%. If it continued down, the average loss was 7%. 20 days later, Bitcoin fully recovered 15% of the time. Bitcoin continued lower 35% of the time, losing an additional 7 to 30%. Those are interesting numbers. Those are interesting numbers for sure. Here's a little bit of chart hopium for you. Imagine the current Japan stock market crash is the COVID crash of 2020, right? So you can see back here, 2020 COVID crash. You have this expanding microphone pattern, this far move down here. And look at the similarities between 2017, 2021 markets. And then look here where we are right now. Interesting pattern playing out here, isn't it? Yes, it certainly is. Final thought here, and then we'll jump into your questions. The markets seem to have a habit of providing opportune discounts prior to bullish events. This is the wave 2 of major ETF flows I'm talking about. He's referring here to Morgan Stanley telling wealth advisors they can now pitch Bitcoin ETFs in a first for a big bank. The firm's 15,000 or so financial advisors can now solicit eligible clients to purchase shares of 2 exchange-traded Bitcoin funds starting from August 7th. That's tomorrow. Isn't it nice that BlackRock arranged this whole Japan carry trade leverage unwind in order for them to buy more Ethereum and Bitcoin? It's not the case, guys. We're just being funny. But anyway, there you go. There you go. So let's dive into your questions. What do you guys want to talk about today, Morgan Scamley? Morgan Scamley. Hey, Lark, is everything good in the market now or more pain ahead, says Adam? I have no idea. Certainly, I think everybody, after the painful day yesterday, they want to rush to say, hey, we're so back, right? Yesterday is so over. Today we're so back. Again, as mentioned, both Bitcoin and Ethereum trading well under their key 200-day exponential moving averages, right? That's kind of bearish momentum in the market. Again, long-term value buyers under the 200-day EMA. Great. If you want to wait for more strength to come back into the market, you want to look for reclaims on those. Lark, what ecosystems will be booming, and price prediction for Aerodrome? As I've said for a long time, my favorite ecosystems right now, it's Solana and Base, without a doubt. Also, pretty big Avalanche fan. I think they've got some of those ecosystems have some of the strongest stuff going on. Telegram's also one to watch. I haven't really gone down that rabbit hole very much, but definitely Telegram's an area to watch too if you're into that. Price prediction for Aerodrome, I'm hoping for $10. $10 would be great. I'd be pretty happy with that. Lark, which 3 coins are you not selling and holding for the long term? Well, when I think it's time to more broadly take profits in the market, not having to pay off loans because I'm paranoid about liquidations, but when I'm looking forward for, okay, cycle's probably getting near the end, I'm probably just going to hold some Bitcoin into the bear market. I can't see a reason to hold anything else, to be honest. Now, I will rebuy all kinds of stuff when I think the situation presents itself. But bear markets are brutal, man. And you can see how fast things sell off in these markets. And yesterday, here's the thing. Look at yesterday. And I want you to understand that when the market top comes in, there's nobody ringing the bell. Not that yesterday was the market top, but I want you to understand from a volatility perspective, when the market top comes in, there's nobody there ringing the bell. There's no orderly exit. There's nobody saying, hey, now's the perfect safe time to sell for absolute maximum profits. It's simply not how it works. It is chaos. Markets are chaos. And Bitcoin, as a great example, did something pretty similar in 2017, got to 20K and was like 10K like a week later or something like that, 50% decline. Now, altcoins boomed for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that top came in, but things got real bad real fast. Lark, have you ever considered doing options trading, MicroStrategy, or investing in public mining companies? I've thought about mining companies. I don't know. I feel like I got so much exposure to the crypto markets that I really need another crypto investment. I already have Coinbase stocks. Maybe it's enough, but certainly mining companies are interesting. We did a video breaking down some of those recently. If you want to go watch that, probably 6 weeks ago or something like that. JDB says today, I guess, was best case scenario. Not saying we're back, but today could have been way worse. Japan recovering is pretty good news. There you go. Hey, Lark, first time in crypto, learning at rocket speed, losing money just as fast. There you go. Ada is disappointed, but still holding my bags until the big pump. Then Def will be selling my bags to the herd. You know, I've been thinking recently about the number of cryptocurrencies that I hold, and certain coins that I hold that have just been underperforming the market realistically for a while. So there you go. You know, for me, I'm probably going to be taking some of those positions off the table in the next weeks to months, selling some of those into rallies, stuff like that. But some of the altcoins that I sold in order to pay down the loans, to not be paranoid about getting liquidated on a giant chunk of my total crypto portfolio, not a lot of love lost in some situations. You know, it's like I sold my injective bags, and no shade on injective, but like I was up like 20x profits on those. And yeah, not the most ideal time to sell, but screw it, man. I was up 20x profits. Just take that money, move on, reduce the risk to the overall portfolio. Fine. And that's one thing to remember. Some of these things were in some pretty nice profits, or something like Wilder World. I still think they have great potential to deliver an awesome game, but man, it's been a hard hold for that one. So I thought, you know, screw it. Let's freshen up the portfolio. Let's take the cash. And that was actually all basically all staking rewards from back in the day. Anyway, for your Cardano bags, I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for you. How you feeling today? Good today. I'm very happy. As tough of a decision as it was to do, especially considering the time, the liquidation point for one of the Bitcoin loans got within like $6,000, which, you know, it's not that. I don't need that shit, man. No. At the end of the day, taking those loans versus my Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's great when times are good back in, you know, March or April. But as you see, the volatility in these markets, I know this, got too greedy. What are you going to do? Anyway, say la vie. I had to pay the price for that. And guys, when we talk about having to sell down a portion of my portfolio, it's so easy to criticize people, right? A lot of the positions were sold at profit, not everything. Some things were sold for disgusting losses, like Illumia. Finally said, you know what, this thing's doing nothing. There's almost no liquidity for it. Not really a lot going on. Maybe it pops back and I regret selling that, but you know what? Screw it. Let's just part ways. But removing the liquidation risk stress, great. So I feel good about that. And I still have 85% of my portfolio or whatever intact. So, you know, it's all good. Should have paid the things I took loans against, just either using cash or taking profits on some of my bigger positions back then, but I didn't do that. Now I'm paying for that now, essentially. So anyway, where are we up to here? Thoughts on Ether? Don't know much about it. Sorry. Mike says, bought some ICP under $7 last night like a boss. Can Solana go to $1,000? Yes, it can. When? There's the question. By the end of this year? I don't know. We have to see how the cycle plays out. I'm still thinking we might see that market top March, April next year, but there's a lot of interesting economic data that shows that U.S. recession, it is coming. The only question is when and how severe, right? So it's kind of this almost race against time right now to see a good market pump, to get some profits off the table, and then move on. Phantom Sonic, yes. Agreed. Phantom's going to be great. Holding on to my Phantom bags. Jupiter, buying opportunity. Aerodrome 2. Agreed. I took a tiny, like 5% of my Jupiter bag and about a third of my Aerodrome holdings and sold those down. The logic being the Jupiter was something I was going to sell anyway, that little portion of it. And the Aerodrome, that's like, I don't know, 2 months staking rewards or something for my liquidity position. So it's not a worry, to be honest. Do you think DPIN will be the next cycle's big narrative? And if so, won't Render be the DPIN project of choice? Hard to say. A lot of DPIN projects out there. I've got some low cap DPIN stuff. Some of those have been super rough rides, like EMC. Wrecked. Now they got some big stuff coming. Maybe that'll make the difference. I don't know, but it's been pretty rough ride. Natix, it's a sort of a mapping protocol on Solana. Could be interesting. Got IONET as a private sale investor, but I don't have my tokens for like a year. So we'll see what the markets are like in a year when that happens. Do you think Brett will survive? Brett's a great meme coin. I think he's got a lot of strength. So I'm sure Brett will survive. Well, I'm almost certain Brett will survive the correction. Not financial advice. Crypto's risky. You can lose all your money. Never forget that. But anyway, I think Brett's really shown itself to be a very, very strong meme coin community. So do you think Jupiter will start revenue share? And if so, when? I remember Weremouse said, this was a while, like 6 months ago, that yes, they will, but he wants the platform to be like 10x bigger. And this is going to be bringing in stocks and stuff like that. And Jupiter long-term could be sort of the everything trading app of crypto. That could be some time though. So I wouldn't go hold my breath on that. My personal plan for Jupiter is unstake it sometime later this year. Get the next airdrop, of course, as well. And then I guess that's probably going to come in January or something. Maybe I'll unstake it in January. Don't know. We'll see how the markets are looking. Good to be flexible with your positions too, but I still think Jupiter could go $10, something like that as well. Lark, the interest rate cuts usually precede a recession. Why not get out now? Because between now and whenever the recession comes, we still could have a final sort of blow off top or melt up in the market. No guarantees, right? And if I'm wrong on that, fine, all good. We're okay. But it'll be interesting. I feel like with the current economic reality starting to build up in the way that they have, rate cuts when they come could be too little too late, but it doesn't mean that it won't spur on one final rally in the market. It'll be interesting to see if we get sort of almost a double top scenario like 2013 or something like that, or 2021, maybe a bit more spread out, where you get a first major market top, and it might be lower than people think. Might only be like 90 or 110 or something like that for Bitcoin, and nice amounts for altcoins. That could come in November or maybe March, April, like we've been talking about, and then a second top after a recession. Maybe it's a short recession, short, deep, brutal recession, coming out of that raging, and then maybe get our second market peak at a slightly higher price in December 2025, something like that. Just a thought, just a thought. Lark, has all this not proved that Bitcoin's the only asset to have? No, I still think there's a lot of great altcoins out there that can make great money and that have done very, very well for me. Brett's done very well. Aerodrome liquidity pool's doing great, etc. So even though I don't have it, look at Solana. Look at Solana, man. Solana's been killing it this year. But yeah, I mean, look, Bitcoin's still my number one bag, right? Did you sell your Benji bags? No, holding on to my Benji bags. Holding on to the Benji bags. We're chilling on that. Still got my Miggles bags. Still got my smoking chicken fish. Okay. Lark, you sold the bottom. Yes, I probably did. And that's fine, man. Again, you guys can clown on me all you want, but the risk of losing, again, I took risks that, obviously did not play out very well. And that happens sometimes in markets. And we got to talk about this, right? I'm trying to be as honest with you guys as I can when it comes to positions and how I manage these things. And it's not great that having to sell then, right? So you can criticize me, you can clown on me all you want, have a good time. You're most welcome to it. But I looked at it and said, okay, what is the worst scenario? Biting the bullet here and paying down the loans, or potentially getting the loans liquidated and losing a substantial amount of my crypto portfolio. So as it's ended up now, I've had about a 15% haircut or something like that on my crypto portfolio. A lot of it's in sort of the more speculative altcoins, which for the most part, it's all good. Not gonna miss them. But had I got those positions in trouble, we could have been standing to lose a lot more. So again, leverage, kids. Was it what they say? Ladies, liquor, ladies, liquor, and leverage. That's it. The 3 L's. The 3 L's you got to watch out for. Okay. Lark sold the bottom, laughing face. Laugh it up, man. Have a good time. I still have a gigantic crypto portfolio for perspective here, guys. Okay. Jupiter's the closest thing I have to a trash coin. Let's all hope, right? It's I really think that Jupiter will be a great beta play for Solana overall, but let's see how the markets go. Sol breaking out, next stop 200. Where are we at? Currently facing resistance at the 200-day EMA. Let's see what happens. Key area for it to break out from, right? Watch for a bit of strength there if it can set it up. Yoga Girl says, that was my first crypto battle scar. Wowzy, what a ride. You got to be here for this. I always think that when these kind of market events happen, you're probably going to remember that. The psychological crazy that can happen during these events. You're going to look back and go, whoa, remember that? That was crazy, man. Lark, will you let us know when we've hit the bottom so we can buy back in? I will do my best. I'll do my best, right? Again, yesterday's forced selling doesn't make me happy, but it is what it is. There's rational reason behind it. I hope that makes sense. And again, you can criticize me all you want for it. By all means, we all got to manage our portfolios in the way that we think makes sense. And sometimes you got to make unfortunate decisions, which I think yesterday was. But, say la vie, I'm much happier now not having to worry about any potential liquidation risks for my loans. So in terms of looking at everything else, let's hope that we get a nice market rally. Let's hope that we move into Q4 strong and that we get some nice selling opportunities. And yes, we'll be watching out, of course, for when to rebuy. But I'm telling you guys, I'm really feeling it. This has been a pretty crazy few years in the markets, man. And I feel like I want to take 6 months off when it I've been saying this for months now. You guys can hold me to it later, okay? I want to take 6 months off when we get to, I don't know, the next bear market, whenever that's going to be. Let's go relax somewhere. Okay, where are we up to? This is the time to sell your house and wife to buy crypto. It's nice to have both those things, guys. Crypto's not the only thing. Houses and wives are also nice. It's nice to have a place to sleep and somebody to cuddle. Okay. If you want a friend in crypto, get a dog. BJ says, I'm not going to celebrate before I witness the Israel-Iran tension unravel. Still a lot of fear events in the market, right? And I know the impulse is to rush back into things. But as we mentioned here, and I remain very long-term bullish on crypto, guys. I'm still balls deep in the markets, okay? Bitcoin and Ethereum still trading very deeply below their 200-day exponential moving averages. You want to see strength come back in the market, start even talking about, new highs in Q4 and stuff. We need to retake those key moving averages, okay? So let's watch for that to play out. Hopefully there's no more upset events. I hope that the Israel-Iran stuff is going to not take off. Come on, guys. Let's just, peace and love, Israel and Iran. Let's stop dropping bombs on each other, man. Jeez Louise. Are you still holding Manta? No, I sold Manta. Manta's been a pretty disappointing one, to be honest. So, c'est la vie. C'est la vie is one of those ones that when I sold it, no love lost. It's fine. See you later, Manta coins. You holding Glimmer Moonbeam. I've been thinking, so I currently still have it in my portfolio, although I've been thinking about it. And I was thinking about my portfolio over the weekend. I was like, man, I got so many damn coins. And Moonbeam is definitely one that has not been getting very much attention this cycle. Late 2021, early 2022, Moonbeam was the talk of the town. Nowadays, not so much. Now, I've been holding it as kind of a beta play to Polkadot, but Polkadot has also not been getting gigantic amounts of play. So I've been considering, should I just say goodbye to the Moonbeam bags and, push it up into, it's such a low market cap right now, right? It does have some nice potential, but I could sell that and, put it into Avalanche, which is like, 10x the market cap or 20x the market cap that Moonbeam is. But it gets a lot more attention, a lot more hype, a lot more strength comparatively. It's a thought that I've been having. I haven't done that yet, but, share my thought process with you. Still holding Celestia. I've never held a large amount of Celestia. I have 100 coins, something like that. And I just staked that to hope to get some airdrops, which has not worked out very well, by the way. I will probably unstake and sell that at some point in the not so distant future, to be honest. Take the L on it and just move on. Still holding Moonbeam and Oasis. Yeah, Moonbeam we just talked about. Rose, that's a high, same kind of thought. Still holding it currently. Might sell it on the next market pump. I don't know. Based on the same sort of idea. Man, Rose is one of those ones, like, potential wise, so much potential, right? So many things going on with AI and all that stuff. And I'll think about that some more later, just in terms of, consolidating positions on my portfolio. But, which is something I've been thinking about for a while, actually. Like, I had so many damn coins. I need to, dial down the number of coins that I have here to have a little more just concentration of more high conviction bets, investments. But yeah, Rose, it's such a conflicting one for me, because in theory, it's all so damn good, right? You got Dawn Song, who's like this AI computer science lady, and great technicals, right? But the layer one space is very saturated, and it's super competitive. And you're not seeing a lot of the sort of secondary chains getting very much hype or attention, especially this cycle. Look, this cycle's been so dominated by top coins in terms of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Telegram Open Network, Solana, Avalanche, a few others have really dominated mind share and market strength, where then you have a lot of competitor blockchains, like Oasis, for example, like Moonbeam, that simply have not got that sort of level of hype. And there is the sort of the theory that because retail has not showed up in any massive way. We are retail, mind you, but like I'm saying, the herd, right? The big herd has not shown up in any kind of massive way yet, that these coins are just not very attractive right now for a lot of people. You know, you want to buy blockchain number 100 that doesn't have big adoption users on the chance that it will have big adoption users at some point in the future, right? Or do you want to go with strength and take, instead of taking that sort of more perhaps asymmetrical bet that it's going to go up X amount versus other things, you can just buy a bag of Avalanche for probably 10 or 20X with higher degree of certainty, let's say. What happens if Trump isn't elected? Probably nothing good for crypto, man. And probably the markets aren't going to like it either. And there's even, to an extent, a lot of people saying that, you know, with Kamala surging in the polls, that's going to be just that in of itself is being priced into economic thought, right? That, oh gosh, if it's Kamala, it's going to be bad for the economy. Be bad for crypto. I can't imagine that she's going to be in any way good for the cryptocurrency markets. I might be surprised if we get a President Harris, but I am not seeing that currently from her camp. I know she's trying to have sort of this reset with the crypto industry, but like, lady, you've been vice president for 4 years. Like, you could have been out there advocating for crypto. You could have been pushing that agenda with Joe and saying, Joe, you're wrong on this, and pushing him and talking, you know, in the media and saying, me and the president agree on everything except the crypto strategies. I think he's getting that wrong. But she didn't do that. Oh, now there's campaign money and votes on the line. Oh, yeah, of course. As always. We're going to skip over all those highly political comments here. What's your thoughts if a war happens? I mean, it depends on what kind of war happens, right? Are we going to see an absolutely huge regional war involving the United States with, you know, Russia sending daily arms shipments to Iran and Iran bombing U.S. military bases right across the Middle East, bombing Israel, bombing some of the Arab nations, bombing Jordan, bombing the UAE? I mean, that's all hell breaks loose kind of situation. I don't think we're necessarily going to go there, although the U.S. has had a hard on for getting into war with Iran for like 20 years, maybe longer. I really hope it doesn't happen. Just, you know, can we just have like a little bit of like, you bomb me, I bomb you, and we all posture and puff up our chests, and then we go about like, you know, not killing each other on mass scale? That would be fantastic. War, man. What's up with people in the world? I tell you sometimes. Okay. Oh no, he's pronouncing it the hate speech way. I have no idea how to say her name properly. Let's just say Mrs. Harris. How about that? You still holding Subsquid? Yes, still hold my Subsquid bags. I think it's got some great potential. I've been extremely bullish on Hey Lark, huge fan, says Bank. I've been extremely bullish on Caspa. Been rocking it hard. I've been rocking with it. Thoughts? Caspa, those ones. Oh man, at some point, I know we're gonna do a review video on it at some point, guys. It's deep down the list of things to do because it's not really the time to be redoing review videos. But I know it's been doing very, very well, and we've done a little bit of research on it in the newsletter, and we've done some Twitter threads and stuff on it. Not my research systems help me put together, but yeah, I don't know enough about it to make a great comment on it, but I know people have been super excited about it, and I understand why they've been excited about it. So that's about as much as I can say. You're lucky you don't live in the US. It's a mess here. I know. Uh-oh. Rocket alerts reported in upper the Galilee region, northern Israel. Let's see if the Japanese stock markets are pricing that in. Not currently. Japan doesn't care about Israel getting whacked with rockets. See how it continues to play out markets. Anyway. Do one or two more here, guys. Want to finish up? We're getting close to an hour again. Blinken said today, Iran clearing airspace. Yeah. You know, it's these kind of events that can happen that can still spook markets. So I know everyone's kind of, the Nikkei's up, and so everyone's getting very excited about what's going on in Japanese markets, but things that could still shake markets could happen this week. I hope they don't, but stay frosty out there, everybody. What are you going to do when the first nuke flies? Yeah. Yeah, let's hope not. Anyway, guys, we're going to finish up there for today. Thank you so much for watching today's stream, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.